UKSN, initialization protocol activated. UKSN, initialization protocol activated. UKSN, loading. UKSN, loading.
Hello everyone and welcome to UKSN Live. I'm one of your admins, Jay, and this is...
Hello, I'm Wifey, Sarzie.
First of all, we'd like to welcome you to one of our very first UKSN special events. We're going to try to do a few more of these over the next following months, trying to do kind of broach certain topics that we think aren't being really mentioned in the survival world. Now, one of the key things that we wanted to try and do on this is to be able to mention women's survival, because shit hit the fan isn't going to be a male-only experience. There's going to be a lot of things that kind of affect women as much, and if not more, than men. So what we want to do is just kind of wait a few minutes just to get people coming in. I like that. Hi Sarah, hi Sharon.
Hi Sharon, hi Luke.
Now we've been very key at the moment to try and make sure that we're not just going to do this specifically for females. What we want to do is make sure that the female elements of survival are covered, are kind of understood by men as well. One, because it's a survival element, but two, you're going to be if you're in a survival situation, you might be the only prepper or survivalist in your family. So you might have sisters, mothers, daughters, aunts.
Hi Carl, hi Steve, hi Kimberly, hi Josh.
So I say there's lots of people on here that will potentially need this kind of advice, and if they're not survivalists and something did happen, then potentially you might be the one with the information. This one was so keen to meet Sarah Richardson at Camp 1. It was like kind of...
We will meet, Sarah, we will meet.
It's going to be like kind of meeting of minds. Anyway, very quickly, what I want to do is just kind of put in some basic ground rules. Obviously, if someone disagrees with something, normal rules would apply for our live streams. Please be tolerant of other people's views. Obviously, we've got kind of Sarah here. She didn't have to come in. She, obviously, just doing this to try and make sure we're kind of addressing the right kind of things. I don't think I have that much credibility talking about women's issues myself.
Chatting about your hoo-ha.
Yeah, that would exactly be the potential issue that could be. So, obviously, if there are any questions or anything, feel free to ask. I'm going to be monitoring the comments, so I'm going to be keying for this. Backless, yeah. And what we'll be able to do is we'll be able to answer those. So we've got a few things to talk about. We've got 23 people watching at the moment, so I want to kind of welcome everyone there. So hi Alan, hi Mark, Brian, and Kimberly's there as well.
Yes, the cat is yelping in the background for food.
Trouble. Scott's arrived, so expect the tone of the live chat to degrade quite massively.
Hi Kieran. Hi Kieran.
Yes, Kieran's here, ready for the UKSN Live Normal, which will be rolling on after this. We finish this live stream. We're going to do about 10 minutes or so. Break, give everyone an opportunity to go and get a drink out of the toilet and that. And then what we'll do is we'll go live with the UKSN Live Season 2, Episode 2. And we have some big announcements.
Exciting.
Right, okay. So, I am going to essentially sit here and try and look pretty. I know Scott will agree. But what I'm going to do is essentially hand the show over to Sarzie, who's been doing a bit of research and different bits and pieces.
Yeah. Look, this is my show, not yours. So, talking about toilets, actually, here's my lovely Shiwi, because when you're out in the woods or wherever you are, or if everything does go terribly wrong, it's quite tricky to just cop a squat. It's not always practical. Sometimes there's an audience. Oh, I'm just clicking on my hose. So I like my Shiwi with extendable hose. You can just use this bit, but it can drip, and if it's windy, you're going to get a wet leg. So I would recommend that you go for the piss hose. Oh, I'm not getting in there. There we go.
In the middle.
And then you can kind of scoop and flick, take it off, and and put it in a case so you don't get wee everywhere.
For those not familiar with this product, it is designed to act as essentially a female
funnel
to help you.
A flange funnel. You know, for want of a better word.
And I thought
or
Scott
a
was going
tube.
The Scott was going to degrade the live stream. Okay.
That's not a rude word. There's nothing wrong with flange funnel.
I just find it funny. It's a funny word.
Or hoo-ha tube.
This is...
But when these first came out, you literally just got this. I had one about, 20 years ago maybe, something like that, at a festival. I got a wet leg when it rained and it was windy. Now you get a tube and a carry case, so it's actually much more hygienic if you are on the run. And you can also get these little baggy things that are kind of like a pouch that's a bit like a nappy in a way. It has crystals in it. So if you're in a car, you can attach the pouch on the end, and then put that in there with it until you can throw it away. Happy days, no drip. Perfect.
Key little, I think that is
Oh,
actually...
look, Poundland do one.
Ooh.
A deluxe version. Well, excellent, because I don't think this actually cost me anything. I think I was gifted it by somebody I was working for that sold them at the time.
I think that's
Thanks,
the
Nick.
Shiwi Extreme, isn't it?
No, this is the this is the Shiwi Extreme, something like that. Yeah.
I remember thinking it was really funny.
But if Poundland do one, happy frickin' days, because they're probably ridiculously expensive.
Prepping on a budget.
Prepping on a budget, yes. Or you could just get a funnel and a jam jar, but it's not as hygienic and it's going to be more tricky to put in your bag, I think, wouldn't it? It might drip in your bugger bag.
I can imagine.
No one wants wee in their bugger bag, do they? Ooh. Another thing I think about when I think about prepping and being like out there if the shit hit the fan rather than bugging in is how I would manage my moon time. Will you shut your face? Christ. Kieran, can you feed the cat?
Yeah.
Thank you. Moon time. It's talking about surfing the crimson waves. It happens to all of us women. Called a period. I hate that. I much prefer the word moon time. It sounds much nicer. And this is a book about harnessing the ever-changing energy of your menstrual cycle. Yeah, man. Wrong side, can't see. Yeah, man. I've read it. It's a bit kind of out there. It talks about making a moon lodge and doing paintings, not necessarily with the blood, but you could if you wanted to. But it has got some really good principles about how we are not taught as women, children in particular. I remember getting dragged into a toilet, handed some freaking mattresses in a bag and whispered to, and then we all got ushered off somewhere else. Didn't really prepare me for the realities of what was going to happen. So I think we should be educating ourselves and our daughters and our friends' daughters and any other women we know about our moon time and taking some girl power back on it, pow, pow, pow. Because although you can't control it, and it is linked to the moon, hence the moon time, you can get a grip of it, which is going to be a lot easier in a shit hit the fan situation. If you haven't got your pill, you might not have condoms, you might not want a baby, or you might do. So you might want to know about how to take charge of that yourself, because if the shit hit the fan in the longer term, your preps are going to run out. You know, all of us, they are probably one day. So we need to take charge of these things. So one of the things this recommends is charting. I'm no expert on this. This is just what's worked for me and how I've empowered myself. This book, Taking Charge of Your Fertility, is epic. It teaches you all the things that schools should be teaching all girls as part of their physiological, this is what's going to happen to you lesson. And it has charts in it. So in the longer term, all you would need to manage your fertility and your blobbage or your moon time is a basal thermometer, which are about... They're not
expensive at all.
£2 maybe, yeah. Not even £2-3 off Amazon or whatever.
Very small, very lightweight, can easily be thrown in a bug out bag.
And although it might seem a bit of a faff to someone that just eats a pill or has a coil or does, has an implant or one of those things that you can do, if the shit hit the fan, you probably can't do that. If you've got your basal thermometer and a chart that you could draw, it's not that hard. You just take your temperature every morning before you wake up, whack it on your chart, and then you'll see the 2 or 4 days a month when you actually might get pregnant, your temperature changes. I cannot remember off the top of my head if it's up or down, so I'm not going to tell you that and be incorrect. There's a million charts out there. And the other thing is, I bought the books because it's great at the moment. You can look on your phone, you can look on your iPad, you can just ask Uncle Google, anything, but shit hits the fan, it's not going to happen, so you're going to need your own tools. So get books and get informed.
Can I just say with this, obviously, just going to give that. So that is the book. Obviously, we're massively keen on books here. International bestseller.
She's amazing, this woman, and all women should read it. We should teach it in school. I don't know why we don't.
I tell you what, I am liking. I'm liking the fact that her initials at the end of her name.
Yeah.
MPH.
She's a doctor.
I know she's a doctor.
Oh.
Anyone with letters after their name deserves respect.
And this crazy lady, Lucy H. Pierce, has written this great book, and there is a version for younger girls as well. But even just after I read it, it really helped me think about. I've got quite a stressful day job. I've got a really stressful day job. So sometimes I'm out on the road when I'm experiencing my moon time. And even when I'm not, sometimes I don't want to murder Jay. You know, sometimes I just want to give the poor bloke a break.
It ain't worth trying.
This has really helped me think about not beating myself up at the start of moon time. You know, taking a bit of time out, having the things I like around me, and just not stressing myself out. And even that, one of the strong messages from the book has really helped me not be such a maniac, I think. Do you?
Cool. Okay, I'm just getting some comments coming through at the moment.
Okay.
So Sarah Richards asking, can we put the details of all the books in at the end of the live stream?
Of course, we will do a
thing
post with all the details in.
Yeah, I'll tack it all in, links to Amazon and stuff like that, and make it as easy as possible. So it's having a look.
Yes. I'm seeing Femme Cup and homemade pads. Wow. Thinking about that, we've been talking about me doing a post on alternative menstruation products for ages, but I've only got one opportunity a month to test them out. So over the last 8 months, I have been testing loads of different things out. Haven't finished yet, so I've just found something new that I'm going to try. But one of the things I did find is this, which is a Feminist menstrual cup. I've tried this. I've tried a $1.99 one off our shop, actually. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
one off our shop.
We have them in our shop as a
I've
trial
tried
product.
a traditional moon cup, and I'll go into more detail when I do a specific whole post on it. But this one I found is bloody great for preps because this is this Feminist one. It was 20 quid. I got it in a Tesco's. I got caught without one. I had to go in and buy one in an emergency. I found this little bad boy. It comes in a silicone packet thing, so it flattens. Way, and there it is. But it folds, and then in a shit hit the fan situation, you can just boil up some water, whack it in there, clean it. That will clean it, sterilise it, and then you can flatten this again. Woo! Flatten this again.
All packs away.
And it all packs away, so it's going to keep it clean. You're not going to have something gross hanging around in your bag. You haven't got to boil it in the cup you're going to drink out of, so you can still just do it with one billy tin. And it could even attach with the tiny carabiner to your Molly. Who wouldn't love that? Molly fans. It's great, isn't it? Or you can just make it into a Velcro patch.
So for those people that are tuned in, maybe some of the blokes here, could you very quickly and in kind of as layman language as possible explain what a menstrual cup is?
Yes, you stick this up your hoo-ha. And basically to do that, you fold it like that and like that. You whack it up there. It'll expand. It suctions on to your chuff like that. Ta-da! And it collects all the blood. And then to release it, you squeeze it to get the suction off and pull it out. Empty it into the toilet. Rinse it. Fold it back up. Stick it back up there. I mean, the other brilliant thing about these is they're so freeing. You don't have to carry anything else with you. All you have to do is pour it down the toilet and shove it back up there. I mean, all of the instructions do say, wash it. Sometimes it's not practical. Another top tip of mine is go in the disabled toilet because you can reach the sink from where you are, rinse it, whack it back in. Jobs are good. And otherwise, I have found myself in the services coming out of the toilet trying to hide my bloody claw like I've just committed a murder in there and get it under the tap for anyone sees and pukes or freaks out on you. Not that I care, obviously, don't give a shit. But yeah, bloody brilliant. And folds down, in it goes in its box until next month. Joy. And then you only have to change it twice a day. So that lasts for 3 times maybe, 8 hours. So you could do it in the morning, get it in the shower, have your day, empty it out whenever you want, but could be lunchtime, when you get home from work, whatever, and then just do it before you go to bed. Much easier than changing pads and fanning around with tampons all day long. Ugh.
So when I was building, helping Sarzie build her own bug out bag, things like this have already kind of come into our own. Obviously, I've learned a lot through what kind of Sarah has been teaching me about this kind of stuff as well. Now, obviously, long-term prep-wise...
So just reading Sarah's comment. I've heard some boys think you can hold a period in like you can a wee. Oh, no. Those crimson waves are crashing on that beach and there is nothing you can do about it. But do you know what else is really interesting about this? You can actually see how much comes out of you. So the first time Jay saw it, he was like, God, no wonder you're so pissed off. Yes, the cup overfloweth on occasion.
Quite shocking.
Well, actually, it doesn't. But the other thing that some women might not realise is your cervix moves up and down as the month goes on, and it still happens when you're on the blob. Mine comes down. So I can use a bigger cup at the start of my cycle when there's more each day, and this towards the end because this is quite small as they go. I haven't actually got any others around to show you, but this is a little bit, some of them are about that big. Some of them have a thicker rim, but as I say, when I do a whole thing on it, I'll show you all of them and you'll be able to see the difference.
There'll be detailed videos and descriptions when we do that.
Yes.
Just mentioned about the bug out bags. Obviously, when you're looking at considering kind of your shit hit the fan plans and stuff like that, obviously your pill, if you have extra stores of kind of your contraceptive pill, great. The downside is they're going to run out sooner or later. We never know whether a shit hit the fan situation is going to be short term or long term. It depends, obviously, until you're in it, and then when it ends, it ends. So having something like that, I mean, I've seen some other options like kind of obviously sanitary towels, tampons. Mm-hmm. We obviously have a lot of these in
sponges.
Sea sponges are another one.
And there's the other thing I'm going to try is she thinks, which is underwear. So you don't use anything else. You just wear these she thinks underwear, and they come in all the different forms of knickerage, like apple packers. I'll be getting those. Thanks. Tuck it all in. Boy shorts, tangas, whatever. But you actually don't need to use anything else with those. They hold 2 tampons worth of gubbins a day. Happy days. And they do leotards as well. You might get Jay one of those.
I love a leotard. It's just basically, obviously, it's just about we're trying to present some options to you guys.
Yeah. And it's personal, you know. Not everyone wants to stick something up their hoo-ha. Some of you might want a cloth sanitary pad or whatever. For me, personally, this is the most practical thing for me because I haven't got to wash it and dry it. I can just boil it. It comes in a pot. I can put boiling water in. It flattens down, and it's done. You know, job's a good one. But not everyone, as I say, you know, each to their own. I will try some cloth sanitary pads. It's not really my thing, but I'm going to try them just for the sake of reviewing them. And I've ordered a pair of She Thinks from America. Can't get them in it. Well, you can order them online at the moment. And in the research for that, I found another brand called Katie or Alice or something. But you had to wear those in addition, so I don't really see the point of that. But, you know, there's a myriad of stuff out there to try.
Now, I know one of the questions we'll get with this is obviously, how long will this thing last? Because that's obviously one of the elements that's...
Wow.
We think about longevity.
Yeah, this will last literally years. This is fairly new. Obviously, it still looks all right. They do discolour. When I show you the delights of my moon cup, it's not dirty. It's been boiled, but it's not the same colour it was. They're all medical grade silicone, so they'll last bloody ages. Like, I know someone that's had a moon cup for 20 years. Moon cup started in Brighton. I used to live in Brighton, so a lot of ladies there have a moon cup. But yeah, it literally lasts for years and years because it's made out of something really solid and, well, not solid as in hard, but a really stable product.
So I'm just having a look at some of the comments on here. So Kimberly saying would be a very valuable item to have in the have extra in case of a shit hit the fan. We're looking at Sharon saying we need some in the shop.
I think we've got some, Sharon. Not these ones, but we'll see if we can get some. We've got there's like pink ones in the shop, and they come with a slightly longer stem, but you can snip it off, like for your fit.
So the shop's currently going through a redesign at the moment, so they should be available there. Obviously, we didn't. Don't think they're live.
I never thought I'd ask this. Is it true the rumour that women can sync their periods? Well, there is a lot of chat about women. No, it's not. It's the frickin' moon that syncs you. It's not other women. There is a lot of chat about alpha females. So, for example, I have a lot of other females stay in the house because we're a host family. And some of them, the ones I've got closer to, have said like, oh, I've got my period. And I'm thinking, oh, that's because because I'm the alpha and I've got mine. I can control your hoo-ha. It's actually not, it's the bloody moon. You know, literally the bloody moon. So, no, Josh, it isn't true. But yes, it could be true that if there are a group of women together in a shit hit the fan situation and we're all under the same moon, we're all going to be surfing at the same time. I think some polyamorous communities, men experience that with their multiple wives, all under the same moon, all humming the same tune. But it's the moon, it's not actually the hoo-ha, isn't like sending vapes to the other's hoo-ha going, I'm going to control you.
I've seen Sarah.
They make good firelighters, not moon cups, love. Tampons, yeah, for sure.
Obviously, cleaning that thing's really, really easy as well.
Yeah.
Just kind of boiling up.
Stick it in the
water
pot. Boil it.
Kills any germs.
Job's a good one.
I know that I've read certain things about sea sponges and stuff like that where there is a bacterial concern with that, which I can kind of understand from a sponge.
Sarah's still rolling on the floor laughing about the bloody claw comment. But that's how you clean it. Pour boiling water that way up.
See, that's kind of...
To get it, obviously, in there. And then just pour the boiling water in it, leave it for a few minutes, and then empty it out. You might want to give it another go. You might want to actually rinse it under a tap a bit and rub any chunks off, because sometimes there is a bit of cherry pie filling in there, let's be honest. You could put the lid on it if you wanted to, if you're in the, out somewhere and you were doing it camping, you don't want bugs to get in there. And then just flap it around to dry it. Jobs are good. You can squash it back in your pot then.
It's made out of medical grade silicone as well, so it's not going to be if you put it in hot water, it's going to be absolutely fine.
Yeah, it won't melt.
Yeah, so it's really good. Carl's saying Sarzie needs her own show. She's a natural in front of the camera. Please do more streams. This is crazy. No, we've got
that cat again?
Yeah, causing grief.
Pussy wants his
So
own
we've
show.
got 30 people watching. So obviously, if you've missed out on anything...
Oh my God, I've never seen that in my life. Well, you have now.
There you go. Bit of education for you. Obviously, if you've missed out on any of this and you're late chiming, this will be available on the UKSN main page. What we're going to do is we're also going to cut this down and actually have this downloaded and available on our YouTube channel as well. So we're going to start putting the live streams back onto YouTube, basically because we run them here.
She never said that.
So we run them all here because of the interactions we have with everyone. We always tend to find that we get a better response in the Facebook group than we do on YouTube. Basically because everyone has to run over YouTube, log in, comment, like. There's a lot of confusion. It's a lot easier in here.
I'm just going to shuffle my things a minute.
Right, so we're basically going to be putting up this and up and running. So Duke's asking when's your audition for QVC?
Well, funny you should say that, Duke. Here's the sales pitch.
Did you say sales pitch or sales bitch?
Sales pitch!
Okay.
Oh dear. Dear. Are there any more questions about hoo-ha's, moon cups, crimson waves, any of that jazz?
I'll have to wait a few seconds to see if we get a response from that. So obviously we're going to be able to field some questions. If you do have any, do not be embarrassed about asking questions, because at the end of the day, there's no such thing as embarrassing her. And to be totally honest, there is no such thing as a stupid question. We're all here to learn. I guarantee you, if you have a question, there's probably someone else out there who's watching this at a later time, or potentially at the same time you're watching it, and they just don't want to.
And if you're watching this later and you're not watching it live, just leave a question in the comments. I'm not much of a Facebooker, to be honest, but Jay can always ask me, and then I can answer through the conduit of Jay. Channel the flow through Jay.
I haven't got that much.
What is a sea sponge? Paula, okay. So some people use natural sea sponges in different sizes to collect their menstrual blood.
See, that entire concept just kind
freaks me out,
Yeah,
because personally, and actually I read an article by a gynaecologist and doctor that was very qualified that said there's no way you could clean it enough to make it safe to introduce the sea flora and fauna into your hoo-ha flora and fauna. But some people, want a natural option, and that's cool. That's up to them. But they do... And sea sponges come in different sizes for different flows, but also moon cups, yes, they do come in different sizes. So the one I've showed you is a fairly small one. Most brands come for young girls and then grown-ups, because obviously there's a little difference there. And they come in a million different types as well. I'm just waiting for a new one that's more like a bell jar shape with like an actual ring to pull it in and out, and it's supposed to be non-spill, so I'm quite interested in that. I have had a couple of moments where I've dropped mine on the floor and made it look like a murder scene, and I've also dropped it down a public toilet once when I was out. That was not fun, and I dealt with it. You know, it's all right, I dealt with it, but you know, that's why I'm going to do a full video on all of the different ones I've tried, because there were bloody loads and loads and loads of them.
Of course, what works for you might not work for other people, so it's about finding your own personal kind of balance of what works for you. Obviously, it's really key and important that people are considering this.
Coral could grow up there. Ooh, yeah.
It's really important that people are considering their kind of plans.
Nemo. Nobody wants to find Nemo up their chuff, do they? Ooh. You put a sea sponge up there, you might get Nemo might come out.
That's a whole different version of the film that I didn't see. Dory. Forgot about it the next day.
Oh, Josh, bless you. Before tonight, all I knew was it happened once a month, sometimes more. I've been so lucky in my life. It came every 2 weeks when I was a teenager. It's amazing. I didn't actually kill anybody. Although I'm mental.
Alan Reed is saying, Theresa May versus Sarzie dangerous grudge match. Who wins? That's a no contest, mate.
No contest, mate. I only work for the government.
Sarah Rich is saying,
Poor SpongeBob. Oh, I know. Ooh.
Oh, he lives in a pineapple under the sea. Something to look through. Right, so Becky's saying she's going to, yeah. So again, the show is going to be available. We're going to make sure that this as I said, the specials are going to be kind of locked onto our YouTube channel. So if you guys do have any questions, do tack it in here. I'll be monitoring the conversations here, and if there is anything that we can't answer, then obviously we'll point you in the direction of information sources to be able to make your own decision.
Yeah,
really, really
and I'll also pin the article I found about sea sponges for you. It was actually a reference to Goop, Gwyneth Paltrow's ridiculous stick a lump of jade up your chuff and it'll make you really happy crap. But I'll find it and link it for you because it made some good reading. Yeah. Gwyneth Paltrow's got this whole lifestyle bollocks called Goop, and they sell jade things to stick up your chuff that are supposed to, I don't know what they're supposed to do. Give you joy? Jade joysticks? I don't really know. But I chanced upon an article about it, and she was obviously waxing lyrical about the benefits of it, and the gynaecologist doctor was like, what the what?
Anna's comment, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly, Anna, what the fudge, you know? A jade joystick, what's that about? You know, jade bangle, jade ring, yeah, totes, but something to stick up your chuff. Not really sure what good that going to do.
Josh is saying, my friend maybe buy her chocolate once a month, Paul, and now I know why. Yeah, chocolate is a good kind of...
Sharon, yes, that cup, if you're talking about it, was from Tesco's for about 20 quid. Oh, a big Tesco's in Milton Keynes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are available from different stores, but
yes.
obviously once our store...
We'll link it below, but I'm sure I put it over there now. You can find it online.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we do
but you can also buy ones on our store.
Yeah, one that's up and running.
How much is ours?
I do not know.
And you get them on Amazon for $1.99. Just saying. # just saying. Sorry, Glenn.
Basically, obviously, our store obviously is being going through a redesign at the moment, so I say it's down at the moment. Obviously, when it comes to preps.
Does the cup make cramps any worse? Absolutely not. Not at all. No. In fact, since I've read the Moontime book and used Moon cups, I felt much less pained and aggravated about the entire process than I ever have in my life. Having had the pill when I was a kid, injections, I never had an implant because my doctor said, don't do it, you're crazy. When I became free of all that shit and just managed it naturally, I've been much happier. But I do also use essential oils, which takes us seamlessly into the next part. What was that question?
Oh, sorry, no, I was saying you read a second ago, it's fine.
How would most women want us to behave? Subserviently and fucking quietly, to be honest, you know. when you're on the blob. Get all the stuff in that you know they like and hover in the background.
Pretty much. Okay, Josh.
You've got to kind of be like a butler. They're on hand in case they need something, but not in their face. Yes,
I literally have a little bag, and it's got some things in it she likes. And it's like me sitting there, keeping my distance.
Yeah, Duke's right. Body armour, helmet, and a gum shield is a good choice. Absolutely, Duke.
The reason I'm armed most of the time. Not because I'm worried about shit hit the fan.
It's the reason why I'm called Sarzie Dangerous.
Yeah. No, so for anyone that's obviously managing this, obviously it can be a very stressful time going through that kind of cycle anyway, but if you're in a shit hit the fan situation, that's going to magnify it by 10.
I say hide in a cave and don't come out till it's done.
Yeah, pretty much. I'd second that.
My wife is prepper. Could I possibly do a just-in-case store? Yeah, of course you can. You know, she doesn't need to know. Just shove a moon cup in your bag.
I would love to see that conversation, though, as you're trying to describe it to her if she has that.
Bug-out bag for the crimson waves. Yeah.
I do like that idea, Kimberly. That might actually be quite a cool idea if we were able to kind of put something together.
We could do a moon pack.
Moon pack would be cool.
I need like one that goes with my bag.
Okay.
You know, maybe there's another.
She's got a Rush 72. So
maybe there's a Rush 72 moon pouch I could attach to it or put it in.
I've got ideas in my head already thinking, I've got spare Molly pouch.
Maybe I'll get some crimson wave patches so people can stay the fuck away from me when it's happening. You know, maybe.
Hashtag bestseller.
Hashtag not happening now, honest. Oh, that's when men have a shed, yes. Wise men have a shed.
So we're getting lots of lights and everything all bubbling across the screen.
Doing happy.
And we've got 31 people watching. Oh. So we're having an impact.
Great.
Right, okay, so we're going to draw a line straight down the middle of Moontime now, and we're going to move on to another section. Now this is very close to our
look
heart.
at what you could win. Da, da, da. A fabulous man called Ron Swanson made me this leather pouch and this leather pouch. So one I'm going to keep and one I'm going to give away. So Moontime, and not just Moontime, all the time, I am a fan of essential oils. And I use them instead of using pharmaceutical products because they are natural, they're derived from plants, they are lighter to carry than half of boots in my bug-out bag. And I just really enjoy using them because they're multi-sensory. The olfactory system, like our sense of smell, is one of the oldest parts and the most well-developed parts as us as humans. And the impact of using essential oils, whether you smell them, rub them on, imbibe them, because you can, some of them, is a very quick way to treat symptoms of, general malaise that you might have. So these are my 5 absolute essentials to have with me all of the time. So I have one called On Guard. It won't. One called On Guard, which is a blend of a ready blended one. Wild orange, cinnamon, eucalyptus, clove oil, rosemary leaf oil, and some other stuff, which is to protect you from colds, coughs, and any ill. Jay's going to smell it. It smells like Christmas.
Really kind of, it does smell like Christmas. It's kind of got that kind of cinnamon, kind of orange smell. So really awesome.
Lavender. Lavender can be used on burns. It can be used for calming. It can be used to help you sleep. Do you want a little snuffer? Frankincense, a very old essential oil with multiple uses. If you think you're coming down with a migraine, I'm a migraine sufferer, I would stick a bit on my thumb and press it on the roof of my mouth as my first port of call, quickly followed by past tense, which is a blend for tension and headaches that I absolutely freaking hate the smell of this. It's got wintergreen in it, leaf oil, frankincense, marjoram, oregano, rosemary, basil. I literally can't bear it. But I'm a migraine sufferer.
That smells like Tiger Balm.
No, it doesn't.
I think it smells a little bit like Tiger Balm.
Stinks. So what I do with this is I rub it on my balls, the balls of my feet, my big toes. Kieran, stop guffawing in the lounge.
It's funny,
and if I've got a real humdinger of a migraine and it's taken me ages to find this, which it doesn't because it's always in my bag, I will put it on the back of my neck and on my chest so I can smell it, because clearing your sinuses sometimes helps with the migraine as well. And being an asthma sufferer, I always carry Breathe Respiratory Blend, which is leaf oil again, tea tree oil, citrus oil, and some other stuff. I can't read the writing's too small. Cardamom oil. This smells quite nice. It's not instead of asthma medication. I just want to hasten to add, I am asthmatic. I've ended up in hospital this year with it, which was terrifying. So I use my preventative steroids, inhaler, and my blue Ventolin. But I use this as well because it smells nice and it does help. So I'm going to give away one of these.
This is all handmade.
This
leather.
is handmade. It's beautiful and it's got a little loopy tagler on it.
Not quite terminology I would go with.
Well, you know, that's what I'm sticking with to shut it. So how are we going to do this? Just do...
Right, what we'll do is we will announce the winner at some point later this evening. But what we'll do is, if you want to win this, I need you to pick a word, a very distinctive word that everyone can name.
Armadillo. It's one of my favourite words because it writes joined up really nice.
Okay, so we're going to roll with this. Okay. So what I'd like to say is, if you want to be entered in a competition to win this leather thing, and what we'll look to do is maybe put together
You can have... What I'll do is I will... If you send me an email and through Jay or whatever and tell me if you have any particular health needs or emotional needs, I will custom make you 5 rollables of essential oils and send it to you.
You can't say fairer than that. That's custom stuff there. So all you need to do to be entered into this is to write the word armadillo. Spell it correctly, because if
joined,
not,
I want it done in joined up. So Lucinda handwriting is the font that you'll be looking for on your keyboard.
just put in armadillo in the comment down below. What will happen is we'll run this until midnight tonight. And then what we'll do is we'll do a very quick video tomorrow just announcing the winner. Obviously, want to give
it is confidential. I'm not, you know, when you send me the email telling me about your needs, essential oils can support any need, pretty much.
Kieran, you're banned from
not
doing
replacing like specific medical conditions, but can support medical conditions. How I know this?
What's a multiple word for armadillo?
Armadillo is this book, Modern Essentials and. Whoops. Ow, mother fricker, I just cut one out. Neil's Yard Remedies, which is about making your own blends and herbs, but the two of them together will tell you which oils treat which ailments. I'm also going to take it one step further by enrolling in a, what do you call it? An accredited formal course in aromatherapy oils. I've been using them for about 18 months, probably getting on 2 years, through a company called doTERRA. Now, I've got my own website. I'll link it below in case you want to access anything. They are expensive, but they are the purest medical grade essential oils that you can buy. However, you don't have to buy them from there, but buyer beware, because Jay ordered some tea tree oil off the Tinder Wire, shoot you from Amazon. Frickin' hell.
I literally bought like a bulk thing off Amazon, thought it was 3 lots of tea tree oil, brilliant. Obviously at the time this was before we really got into essential oils, and Sarah smelt it and was just like, no, that's chemical. It's like no.
Not tea tree oil.
And we just kind of compared that to
what
tea
did we
tree
use
oil.
it to kill ants with?
Yeah, literally.
That's how bad it was. There was nothing medicinal about it. It was disgusting.
Now there are certain packs that you can buy. Now, you don't get. We're not sponsored by doTERRA or anything like that. It's something that we have used ourselves.
So this is I'll show you.
This is
look, it's got Wes's sticker on it. Paddles and hammocks and survival dads. Hi.
and black sharks.
And the black sharks. No, it hasn't. Oh yeah, look. This is Wes's side of the box. We love Wes. This is my collection, some of my oils. Mother fricker, I nearly caught my finger in that. Ta-da. And then in the little drawer I've got things I've made. So I made Jay and Kieran one.
Tell you what.
A little blend for when they came back from Camp 1 to make them feel better. So this is quite a manly one. So this is juniper, sandalwood, cedarwood, patchouli and eucalyptus. All about healing and recovering to help them nice.
And I pretty much bathed in it for about.
And this is my one that I made. I sadly lost my dad a few weeks ago, so I made myself a grief blend, which is helichrysum, elevation, lemon, clary sage, and juniper berry. that I'm halfway through because I've been slathering myself in it wildly on a daily basis. But yes, although I've got all of these oils in the big boxes, I bought this because this is the 9 ready-to-use essential oil blends, doTERRA Touch. These are the ones I use most often. So you've got Breathe, Tea Tree Oil, Oregano, On Guard, Digest Zen, Frankincense, Deep Blue, Peppermint and Lavender. They're the main oils that you could treat most of your household ailments with. So whether it's cuts, sprains, bruises, coughs and colds, can't sleep, feeling miserable, need a lift, can't poo, doing too much poo, all that kind of stuff. There's random things like oregano. If you're stuck and you rub that on your shins, you will shit through the eye of a needle the next morning, like 100% guaranteed. Bizarrely. But yeah, so I've bought these because I can put them in my bug out bag. 5 of them fit really nicely in one of these beautiful pouches.
Okay, so Wes has just gone on here, so the one that you made me was fantastic.
Oh, cool.
So
yeah, I sent them to a few people.
It is very key for people to kind of think about the medical, and we're talking long term now. Obviously, medication is going to be absolute kind of is useful if you're talking about kind of.
We missed some questions up here.
Yeah, about talking about kind of your medical side of it. But if you actually think about it, a lot of the medication and everything that we take nowadays are actually plant derivative anyway. Yeah. So this is just essentially just going back to more the natural side of it. Now, again, some of these.
Hi, Maria. Sorry, just reading some of the comments.
some of the essential oils that kind of we use, they're not exactly kind of cheap.
Where's the stuff about migraines? There's a whole load of stuff about armadillos. What did I start?
You'd start something.
Essential oils for tension. Yes, the past tense blend is really good for tension. The one I showed, the one I don't like the smell of. But even this is my second one of these since I've been using them, so I'm not halfway down. Even though I don't like the smell of it, it's so effective that I still use it. That's a really good blend for tension. But if you want to try some, I can send you a little ditty sample of them if you want to.
What's good for anxiety?
Anxiety. It depends what kind of anxiety you've got. So all of these conditions are really personal, so it depends whether you feel anxious about a particular thing, or you're anxious about leaving the house, or you're anxious about everything. It depends. There's different oil blends for everything. So for anxiety, off the top of my head, it would be lavender, bergamot and sandalwood. But I will look it up for you. If you want a consultation, again, feel free to send an email to Jay, and I will send you some recommendations, because I really need to find out what that means for you, because there is sort of general broad brushstrokes, but anxiety is there for a reason, a protective factor or due to something that's happened to us. So I'd need to kind of understand a bit more about why you've got anxiety to be able to recommend something for you, but I surely will. And
I just want to kind of reiterate what we said earlier, that if anyone emails me with details or anything, if you PM me, I'll give you my proper email, my UKSN email, which if you've got a pen and paper handy, it's jay.oliver with 2 L's at uksn.org.uk.
Yeah, there's quite a few questions further up about migraines, the beast of a migraine.
Yes.
Oh, the frickin' things are so evil. Where were they? I saw some earlier. Oh, there's so many.
Sorry, every time someone comments, it flies the comments down.
Right. There are several things you can do for migraine. You can put frankincense on the roof of your mouth is the first thing. You can use peppermint for migraines. You can use that tension blend that I keep hatefully coming back to because it's rank. Kieran, why have you just squeaked?
Sorry.
And this is a good one to have in a rollerball because you can use it anywhere and everywhere. I tend to find with my migraines, I get them over one eye, which is my right eye. I did get a daith piercing in my ear for it, didn't I? Which did sort of work until it got infected and swelled like a motherfucker. So, I'm too old for that shit, so I just took it out and gone back to my essential oils. I find with a migraine, though, if I get the frankincense on the roof of my mouth, as soon as I know, I get that feeling it's going to come, and then I get the past tense on, I can generally head it off at the pass. If I get to the stage where I'm throwing up, show's over and I need to take the Migraleave I take for it. I have had Sumatrin from the doctor for it before, but since I've been using the essential oils, I haven't needed that. anymore, which is good. What else have we got here? Oh, Craig, mate, 44 tablets a day. Ouch.
I mean,
Yes,
it's something
look
you
into it.
could definitely look into. I mean, say obviously things like pain management. Again, the idea is the pain is is obviously the body's way of telling you something's wrong. So if we can look at addressing the kind of some of the causes to this, maybe we could look at reducing it and stuff like that.
And that's what I like about the essential oils is I find when I used to go to the doctor, I still do if I really have to, but I try not to. When you go to the doctor, they want to treat the symptoms. You're having this symptom, let's give you this to cure it. They don't care what else the medication they give you causes. So they might give you pain relief that's going to make you mess up your stomach and give you constipation, or, you know, give you stomach acid or other sensitivities. They just treat the one thing that's happened. And I guess with pain, you know, I've sprained my ankle, so I've got ankle pain. I would personally take arnica tablets, put on arnica gel, and maybe use the deep blue essential oil and some other soothing essential oils to make me generally feel better, rather than whamming down a painkiller. And if you go to the doctor with, I don't know, anxiety, they're probably going to want to put you on an antidepressant or something. And, you know, for some people that's great, and we do need that. And there's nothing wrong with it. But I try and think, why is this happening to me? And I've suffered from anxiety recently. When my dad passed, I couldn't go out of the house on my own for like 2 weeks. It's terrible. My friends going, oh, meet me in town. I was like, I can't. Can you come and get me? Never happened to me before in that way, but happened to me in response to grief. So you've just got to, you know, find out your root cause, really, I think, if you can, because you can't always.
Okay.
And then see where you can go from there.
Obviously, I'm getting lots of people asking.
Oh, there we go. Someone's put the technical word on, sumoptrim. Yeah, that's the one, that. What you said.
People are asking about specific things like anxiety, stuff like that. Obviously, what I think the best thing for us to do would be to do kind of get some actual. Obviously, we're kind of doing things off the top of our head here. Obviously, we don't like to guess when it comes to these kind of things, so it is something that we can look at doing, and maybe some more common ailments. If we have the comments in here, we can kind of pick up certain things. We'll be able to look at and make some recommendations. But the idea is, the one thing I do want to stress with this is you literally, obviously, you can buy essential oils off Amazon for next to nothing.
You can.
But they will not be the kind of high quality that you potentially might need. This is something I would recommend spending a little bit more money getting something that is kind of a little bit more suitable. And
there are loads for anxiety, because lots of people are saying anxiety. I'm just referring to my little essential oil Bible here. So for anxiety, you can use either topically, like you can rub it on, or you can have a rollable, or you can have a diffuser, which I haven't got handily. That was done.
That thing is awesome.
I've got a diffuser, so you put the essential oils in with some water, and it makes a steam. Pardon me, not hot steam.
No, it's just like kind of cool kind of smoke kind of thing.
I've got one on my desk. I use it every single day when I work from home. So if I feel great in the morning, I might just put something I like the smell of in there. If I don't feel great, like last week one morning, I'd had a headache in the night and I was like, oh God, is it going to go into a migraine? Get the frankincense on, get the tension blend on my feet. Look in my Bible. What can I use to make me feel better? Put in 2 drops of 3 different essential oils, whacked it on. 5 minutes later, I'm merrily typing away, getting into my work, thinking, oh, I feel better now. Joy of joys.
Sharon Legs just made a comment on here saying this would be good for Camp 2.
Yes, it would be good for Camp 2.
We did look at trying to have some kind of very quick introduction planned for Camp 1,
but unfortunately I couldn't go.
No, so it is something that we have had on the back burner, and this has kind of been, because Sarah didn't go, we wanted to kind of look at doing this as well. And when the opportunity for the live stream, the Women's Survival, came up, we thought it was a really key time to be able to have this discussed as well, because it is very, very important, really.
Yeah, anxiety. I'm just going to tell you quickly what you can use. You don't have to use all of these. Lavender, orange, lemon. Focus blend, which is, oh Christ, what is the focus blend? Oh, it's passion is what it's called, which is quite a sweet kind of blend. The calming blend, which is actually called Balance on doTERRA. You can use ylang ylang, melissa, frankincense, sandalwood, cedarwood, juniper berry, bergamot, geranium, lime, clary sage, rose, basil, cypress or marjoram. So out of that huge list, it would depend why you're feeling anxious to what I would recommend to you. And some of them are ready mixed. So there's one here called Balance, which is frequently called the grounding blend, which is a blend of spruce, wood oil, frankincense, blue tansy, blue chamomile, and fractionated coconut oil.
So I'm going to ask you. I like that. Oh, that's very nice.
I'm not going to waste some more.
I'm going to ask you a question. What is your favourite oil?
My favourite oil depends on my mood. Actually, Well, how can I make this into a short thing? I like the smell of things to smell like they really are, but I don't necessarily like the taste of them. So I like coffee. Hate coffee flavoured things. I like oranges. I don't even like orange juice. Don't like it messed with. I like strawberries, but I don't like strawberry flavoured things. And through that, because I'm weird about smells, I didn't think I'd like a lot of the essential oils, but I really love the citrus ones. So there's like citrus bliss, wild orange, lemon, lime, the bergamot. They just make you feel so like full of energy and alive. I'm drinking Diet Cokes, I'm a bit like caffeine hyper, but they're the ones I would put on in the morning when I get up and I have to do work, especially if I've got to write a report or do something I don't want to do. Then I whack a few drops of those in my diffuser and you're going. It's brilliant. So now I don't drink a whole jug of filtered coffee to myself a day. I have one coffee when I wake up and whack some essential oils on. Much better for me.
So we've got some very kind of quick questions coming in. So Sarah's first off, how did you get into essential oils?
A friend of mine who is a doula, like a birth assistant, she got into essential oils because she was using them to help women in the birthing process. I went to see her one day and was like, I've been feeling really miserable at work and I hate my job and So she sent me 3 essential oils that I used for 2 weeks, didn't I? Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember.
And then Jay was like, you seem so much better after these 2 weeks. I was like, I've been using these. Could be a coincidence. I think it's the essential oils made me feel so much better. She sent me Balance, On Guard and Lavender. So I took Balance to work with me in my handbag, and all day when I was running a children's home with 20 very, very tricky kids and 50 even more tricky staff, I sniffed Balance every day, didn't kill anyone, and then I came home and I used On Guard when I felt like I was going to get cold, and Lavender before I went to bed every night, and my sleep improved. I got a diffuser, just a cheap one off Amazon, and I started to feel much better. So I carried on, and on and on and on.
Wes is just asking, do the oils last long if you buy them and store them?
Yes, they do. They're sealed in a glass, they're sealed in, most of them, in brown glass, so they can't be impacted by light. Obviously, I keep mine in a wooden box with the lid on, or in the leather pouch on the go, so they're not getting got to by the daylight.
Obviously, with all of this, it's a big bulky item. There's lots of stuff in here. The problem is if we had to bug out for whatever reason, then obviously if we went in a vehicle,
these are in the bug out bag because they're just the 9 ones that I would use the most for the smallest amount of oils for the broadest range of needs. Yeah.
And it's you can get apps and stuff like that that'll be able to help you.
You can, but what I've started to do, because in the shit hit the fan, if there's that what's that big magnet thing?
Electromagnet.
That's the kipper. That's the one. I've got a card index box on my desk, so I've started to, whatever blend I use in the day, I write it on a card, I write the date on the back and why I've put it in there, and then I write my own feedback as to what it's done for me. Has it helped?
Paul's asking for the website.
Website. I will tell you that in 2 secs. Oh, crap, I can't even remember it.
It's in your Instagram.
I know, I'm just looking for it. Is www.mydoterra, which is doterra.com/UK wellbeing. So that is, you'll see my beautiful face with a nice red lip and some halo braids on the homepage there. Yeah, that's the website. Jay will put it in the comments.
mydoterra.com/UK
wellbeing. Yeah.
That's it. Done.
There you go.
So that's now on the comments, so you can follow that.
Yeah.
So definitely worth having that. I'm going to pin that comment top of that as well.
Do I recommend any oils for PMT? Hell yes. There is one that I haven't got here because it's in my handbag, or it might even be next to my bed, called Clary Calm for PMT. That is like the best thing ever. It's got clary sage in it and lavender and I can't remember what else is in it. It's a ready mixed rollable, and you can rub it on your stomach if you've got stomach cramps. You can rub it on your chest. You can rub it in your hands. and just breathe it in. It's wonderful. So yes, that is there for PMT. What would that box cost? Christ, the whole box full of oils? I've probably spent a couple of grand on that, to be honest, over the last couple of years.
It's been worth it, though.
Yeah, it's been worth it.
Massively worth it. I mean, the box itself, beautiful box. Yeah, Mastercraft.
Mastercraft.
It's all kind of branded up as well. So, yeah, it's an expense. It is to get to this level. Like anything,
Oh,
it's
the
not
set.
much more.
The set, not the whole box.
Oh, set. Okay.
Oh, this one I think retails on my website at about £150, I think, something like that. So you're getting...
Yeah. Not a cheap option, but it is.
They're not a cheap option.
It is a kind of quite... I would...
9 fluid ounces of ready mixed, ready to use 9 products.
See, that is, to me, that is quite a key kind of prep. If you understand, obviously a little bit of work you need to understand how to use them and stuff like that, but that could actually be far more long lasting and far more effective than a lot of medication. If you took in individual pills or treatments for every ailment that this would cure, you'd have a med kit twice the size of Wes's. So it helps. Say some people will work for it. I mean, okay, I'm going to be totally honest. When I first came to this, I wasn't 100%.
Captain Skeptical.
Yeah, I was. I've kind of grown up in a point where I understand this kind of thing. Let's see if there's a benefit. I opened up my mind to it a little bit, and it's had a massive effect on me. I find I've got different blends and stuff that Sarah makes up for me, and kind of then I find it really, really positive, and I can see an active change. The On Guard, as soon as you feel a bit run down or anything like that, use a bit of that, and it typically kind of makes you feel a little bit better. So it's really good.
Okay, I need to wrap up now because I've got to go and collect a new foreign child from the station. Hi, I'm your mum.
So, very quickly, I want to thank you for kind of jumping on and helping.
Thank you.
First live stream, everyone. I hope they tell me what you think she did. So, what we want to say is, there is competition.
I'll send you some, Rach.
What we want to do is obviously just remind everyone there is a competition running for one of the leather pouches here.
Thank you, Ron Swanston.
Yeah, very, very kind of well made. And obviously all you need to do to enter that is enter the word armadillo in the comments below.
Crunchy on the outside, smooth on the inside.
Okay. Showing your age.
Is there an oil for killing your husband?
Yeah, if not, you would have used it. Right, so essentially, throw the word armadillo in the comment down below. Make sure it's spelled correctly, because that's all I'm going to look at. So
and it's in Lucinda handwriting?
It won't be in Lucinda handwriting.
Well, it should be.
Well, it should be, but it won't be.
Rude!
Okay. So, throw it in here. What we'll do is we'll run that until midnight tonight. At that point, I will close the comments down, and we will announce the winner tomorrow via a very short live stream.
And then you can drop me a line and I'll give you a little consultation, and then I'll send you 5 ready mixed rollable oils to your specific individual needs.
Awesome. Right, well, thank you very much for everyone. It's been really key, really good to have this. If you like this show, let us know, throw comments in down below. Kind of feedback's always great, and we're obviously looking to try and develop these shows a little bit more. So if you feel this has been useful, it's always amazing to hear those kind of comments. And obviously, if you think there's something we missed or something you think we could do to try and help, we are looking at doing a family bug out one soon, which will kind of help in taking kind of aspects of bugging out with children and stuff like that. So, 1 minute. Yeah. Right, okay. We're going to call. What's going to happen now is we're going to end the live stream now. We're going to give people about 10 minutes. Me and Kieran will be live in about 10 minutes from now.
And you may see a hooded figure in the background. I'll return to my hooded figure in the background duties.
Okay, guys. Well, thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed the show. Stay tuned, and we'll be back in 10 minutes.
Bye.
Bye.